Great. Thanks for the introduction, Melka, and thanks for giving us some space to present this at this 2020 virtual event. Hopefully next year we can meet all people live again at our booth. Today the presentation will be about the health benefits of Biomega salmon peptides, and then especially in premium pet food products. Who am I? A bit of a background. I'm first of all, it's good to say I have a technologist background and not a scientific background. In this presentation, we go a bit more in depth in the scientific part. I try to explain you the best I can, but if there are any questions about more into depth points, please let us know, and we will happy to plan a meeting with you together with our R&D people. I started my career at Biomega, or I started at Biomega, not my career. I started at Biomega last September, so I'm now with Biomega for a year. And I started my career as a product developer in the bakery industry, and from there, after studying an MBA, I got into the commercial side. And in my previous role, I was responsible for antioxidants. And as many people know, after also the presentation of Javier, antioxidants play an important role in also the valorization industry, where we are with Biomega. And in that industry, I was very intrigued by how the valorization process works, and really the sustainability part of it. And that's why I eventually joined as well Biomega, because as our logo or slogan is saying, we value vitality. We want to make perfect products out of the side streams of the farmed salmon. Enough about me. Let's go a bit more into the agenda for today. I will discuss with you a bit about global pet food trends, the health benefits of the salmon proteins or our salmon peptides, a bit about how we process them, and the Salmigo range, so which products come out of our biorefinery. Some unique processing advantage which we have in that biorefinery, and last but not least, the importance of sustainability. Global pet food market trends and opportunities. We have seen them passing by the last 2 days in several presentations, and I will point them out quickly how we see them as well. The global pet food market size, of course, you can discuss about it, but let's say it's roughly 100 billion with an annual growth rate of 5-6%, depending on which area you look. With which trends we see and which trends are there is, we say basically 5. It's premiumization, health and well-being, humanization, clean eating or cleaner label, and sustainable sourcing. Our Biomega salmon peptides, the properties of it, it's highly digestible. We have a digestibility of over 95% in mink. It is completely water soluble. As you see our production process later on, you will see it why they are fully water soluble. So they are easily mixed, for instance, in the meat slurry to integrate in your process. We have amino acid composition that could be favorable to reduce metabolic syndrome. They are rich in taurine, niacin, but also in trace elements like iodine and selenium. Iodine, for instance, a lot of people in Europe have a lack of iodine intake, or not enough iodine intake, which is completely different than in the States, for instance. I will not go more into the background of that, but yeah, that's a known situation. And salmon peptides especially are very high in B vitamins, which have a lot of positive effect on the human body. Taking a quick dip. The pet health benefits of our hydrolyzed salmon peptides. First of all, and one of very interesting benefit is diabetes prevention. Basically, the salmon peptides can reduce blood sugar levels by acting on the glucagon-like protein 1. And that's a very known parameter for diabetes prevention, as our R&D people told me. We have also, or the benefit is cardiovascular health. Why? Salmon peptide contains selenium, taurine, and niacin. All those elements, and especially niacin, has a positive impact to reduce hypertension, the risk of atherosclerosis, and cardiovascular disease. Two other benefits, which we not see together, but let's first go to the weight loss. Salmon peptides can support weight loss by improving fat metabolism and increasing the fat burning by brown fat. What it's doing, it makes the brown fat more active, and the brown fat generates more heat, and in this way you have a higher weight loss. The joint health, in our salmon peptides, we have roughly 15-20% collagen, and collagen can reduce joint pain and improve mobility, and give overall joint health in humans, but also in animals. Then a bit more about the scientific background. First of all, I want this side. This is better for me to see it as well. The salmon peptide nutritional status, I have said it in the beginning. Our salmon peptides contains a very, very high amount of the B vitamin complex, which have a very positive impact on several health benefits in the human body, but in pet food as well. As you can see, the difference, for instance, with casein or soy isolate, it's huge. Also for the trace minerals, selenium and iodine, as you can see the difference with casein and the difference with soy isolate. Then going more into detail about salmon peptides and type 2 diabetes. This is the first part is taken out of a rat study. So first of all, the rats have been fed with glucose for several weeks. And then they were having a fasting period, and then they were fed with casein, casein peptides and salmon peptides. And as you can see in the oral glucose challenge, the effect of the salmon peptides is quite high. So it gives a very, very positive effect on the blood glucose level in rats, and therefore it's also be very positive to use in pets. If people want to know a more detailed part of this study, please write us an email or come to our booth later on, and we will happy to give you more information about this study. Then let me see the serum amino acids. Evaluated plasma concentrations of branched-chain amino acid, BCAA, and aromatic amino acids, AAA. Those are early markers for type 2 diabetes. And if you then see as well that after a diet with salmon instead of casein, that the serum amino acids and the aromatic amino acids with a casein diet are much higher than with salmon. Salmon peptide and cardiovascular disease. Intake of taurine is inversely associated with mortality from coronary heart disease, and our product contains from nature 3 times higher taurine content than for instance casein or soy isolate, and the niacin content have a good effect on cholesterol. It might evaluate the good high density lipoprotein, so HDL cholesterol, and it lowers the LDL cholesterol. And in the right you can see the difference in content of niacin in comparison with casein and soy isolate. Then salmon and salmon peptides and obesity. Preclinical studies shows that salmon hydrolysate proteins prevent obesity in animals. As you can see, those graphs are based on a rat study again. Those rats were given a diet for several weeks with casein or our salmon peptides, and as you can see, the adipose tissue or the fat mass is decreasing, and it has decreased a lot, or it's much less than with a casein fat diet. Even this, the body mass index, if you see it in here, with whey, for instance, pre and post, it has a slightly increase, where it has with salmon, it has a decrease. And this study is very interested to see whether the effect on long-term has on pets, for instance, and even on humans, because if the body mass index will be less and it has a very positive function on the body, there are so many people and pets overweight, and this becomes quite problematic in some parts of the world. Also, and I saw it in a previous presentation, could be the humanization. We want to spoil our pets too much, but the diet and the activity should be it should be a puzzle together, and therefore in this case our salmon peptides could really contribute to a good diet for pets. So if you want to know more about this and what our salmon peptides can do, please come to our booth or contact us so we can discuss in more depth with our R&D people and you, the interested person. Last but not least, about the health benefits, it's joint health. It's very known that the collagen has a very positive effect on joint health. We use in our peptides the skins, the bones, and the cartilage, which give a type 1 or very high amount of type 1 collagen. And then, yeah, as I was saying, the collagen is improving joint health and mobility. To go more deeper in our production process in our biorefinery in Norway, we have a much different process than our competition or people who claim to be producing the same material. I will explain you a bit more in detail. As you can see, we work with two kind of raw materials. So one is our viscera line and one is our offcut line, basically head and backbones. I will start with the viscera line. The viscera line, we have the autolysis, which is a bit longer as the hydrolyzation step where we manually put in our enzymes because we need a bit more time. But then we have the separation process. We have the insolubles, which go into the dryer. We have the oil and we have the stick water. The oil from the viscera line is our crude oil, mainly going to aquafeed. And then we have the, the stick water, which we implement in the dryer again. I will explain you later why we are doing that. We have the offcut line. The hydrolysis take place with the enzymes we add. Of course, we need to have the inactivation step, and then the separation take part. Again, products which come out of that line will be oil, stick water, or hydrolysate, and the insolubles. But in this line, we do it a bit different. The hydrolysate and the stick water, or the stick water, will be going to an evaporator. We have a heating step, and from that line, we get our Salmigo Protect. We get from that line the Salmigo Protect L60 to be precise. And that's quite a unique product in the market, but let me come back on that later. As you see our process, this is different from our competition. This is different, for instance, from rendering. We say we are a biorefinery, we are not a rendering plant. What do they do in rendering? In rendering, you have the viscera line or the offcut line where they cook it. They need to cook it to denaturate the proteins, and then you get the separation process. And then they have even the drying step. Basically, that says you have a very high intense heat over here, and you have a heat over here. That affects the digestibility and the bioavailability of your products, of your end products. Also, because we have the hydrolyzation step, our palatability of the products, the peptides, but also the protein concentrate, is much, much higher than from normal rendering plant. Then you could say, well, yeah, you have also hydrolysate from silage. True, absolutely true. But if you imagine that within the silage business, you need, or they use aggressive chemicals to make the hydrolyzation happen. And that affects, again, your taste, but also your digestibility. The most closest products which come near to our process is batch-wise enzymatic hydrolysis. And still you have differences, and I will explain you in a few slides which are coming. From the products from our process line in Norway, we have our Salmigo salmon oil, which is less than 2% free fatty acid. It's a very bright, pure oil. We have our hydrolysates, 2 products. As I was saying, the Protect L60. It's quite a unique product because it's a hydrolysate liquid with 60% dry matter. It's shelf stable, and there's no need for putting antioxidants or acids or preservatives or whatsoever in it. It's a very pure 100% salmon product. That product, if you can't work with liquids, we can spray dry, and then we get DSD type. Last but not least is our premium hydrolysate or hydrolyzed salmon protein concentrate. That's partly hydrolyzed. It's about 70% protein, but it's a very, very good alternative if you want a non-hygroscopic version of a hydrolyzed protein powder. If you want to have more details about that, please let me know, and we can discuss, of course, in more detail afterwards. Checking the time. Well, I have still some time left. As I was saying in my slide about the process, the closest which comes to our process is batch-wise enzymatic hydrolysis. But then, if you see in this slide, we have continuous hydrolyzation. And that provides us a constant and a consistent quality and yield. Where you have with batch-wise, it's of course much more difficult to get a constant quality and a constant hydrolyzation process. Furthermore, it's with enzymatically, it's as we're saying, increased digestibility, bioavailability. Important also, good to know, is to use of fresh raw materials. Biomega is an ambassador for the circular economy. We work concerning the sustainable development goals, and yeah, it is. How should I say? With valorization as such, you have already a huge impact on circular economy. But then you should see what you do with the end product as well. And our products are even food grade certified. So we make out of a side stream very high quality peptides for human consumption, but also for premium pet food, which has a lot of positive effect on the pets, as we saw it before in the health benefits. We also use GMO-free raw material, as well as GMO-free enzymes in our hydrolyzation process. I will show you the brand movie of Biomega. I hope you can see it all. Well, I hope that everybody had a good view and sound of the movie? If not, please let me know, and we will show.
Ronald, we didn't have a sound.
That's.
So I think you just have to check to share the sound.
Let me see. Well, let me check afterwards. I can share the video as well. No problem. Let's continue for now, because I'm not an IT guy and really don't know how to share the sound.
Here is the help from our IT guy, and when you are sharing the presentation, there is a check box below. Yes, it shares. It says share the sound. When you are sharing, if you go to unshare your presentation to share your presentation.
I will try it again.
Yeah, you have to stop share first.
Okay. Well, let's continue then, and I will share it afterwards. It may be better.
Yes, thank you. No problem.
Then we have a lot of certification accreditations, which we of course need to have. Important is Friend of the Sea certified. We get a lot of questions about AST or MST or ACT. One is farmed, the other one is wild. That seems to be a bit of a problem still, because then you need to be 100%, and your supplies need to be 100% certified, and that's still not the situations today in Norway. We are IFO certified, GMP plus, and which is also important is our FDA registration to export to the US. The Biomega advantage, why we should be your innovative partner for pet food and NPD. Well, we have a fully accredited range of premium innovative products, which really can boost the palatability or the health and the wellness of your pets. As you can see, due to our unique patent product technology and process technology, we get quite different end products than our competition. Of course, the lower temperature processing, which I explained to you, helps with that. We have a strong sustainable ethos, of course, the circular economy driven business model, sustainable sourcing of fresh raw materials, so farmed salmon, zero waste focus, and 100% Norwegian ingredient range, meeting brand NPD trends and objectives. That was my presentation. Thank you all. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to answer them as good and as bad as I can. Please note, again, I'm not a scientific guy, so if it's too scientific, we will do it in a later stage. Thank you.